We want to give our customers and clients, no matter what level they sign up on, results in advance. This is the place. So if you watch the BK show on YouTube's or you listen to it on the podcast, this is where it's at. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3 different sets. So this one room, which isn't that big, really covers a lot of content. As you guys know, content is king, and if you're gonna make a podcast anyway, where you're gonna do any kind of audio recording, it just makes sense to set up a camera and video record it. And now you've got it for the social medias, you've got it for YouTube, you've got it for Rumble, and all the different video platforms as well, because people that watch long form videos are more committed to what it is that you're doing than people who are watching shorts and reels, right? It'll take us about 2 hours to film 3 episodes. Sometimes we'll do a 3-episode run, sometimes we'll do 2 episodes, and then we'll do Q&As, like 3, 4, 5 Q&As. So with that said, let's go into the Learning Center, where we're gonna spend the day doing some cool shit together. Let's kick off the high ticket coaching mastermind. First thing I'm going to teach you, which is the structure of your programs. There are 4 different ways you can run coaching programs. Some of you might run all 4 ways. Some of you might run one way. Remember, our goal here is to have a $1 million a year coaching program, I should say. So let's talk about the coaching structure, because there are 4 different structures. So structure number 1, what I call the virtual community, is this. And I always like to reverse engineer numbers. I'm not good at math, but I'm good at money math. And that's a very different kind of math. So the first one is the virtual community. The virtual community is this. If I can have 842 members, clients, at $99 a month, we're now making $1 million a year. You need 842 clients paying you $99 a month, and you got yourself $1 million a year. So this is structure A. Now, you may not have a big enough audience, email list, influence, subscribers, followers, to get 842 paying members at $99 a month. You go, well, what if I charge less? Okay, great. So you'll have to get 1,700 members paying whatever, $47, $50 to get to $1 million. So you guys see already the conundrum here. One, I need a big audience. If I'm going to get to $1 million, I need a really big audience to get a far little tiny fraction of them to pay me 842 of them to pay me $99 a month. Now, what does this structure look like? And if you're like, hey, what does B run something like this? Have you guys heard of the Legacy Tribe? Right? Legacy Tribe. $299 a month. We launched it less than a year ago. We've got about 400 members in it. If you do the math, it's well over $1 million a year. Now, the Legacy Tribe, or this virtual community, here's what the structure of it looks like. It's 4 Zooms a month. 4 Zoom coaching sessions a month. Each of these Zooms are 90 minutes long. You'll do about 30 to 40 minutes of teaching on a specific topic. The remainder of that 90 minutes will be Q&A. You'll ask each person, whoever raises their digital hand on Zoom, hey, unmute yourself. They'll ask their question. You answer their question. So this is a virtual group coaching program. There's people that charge as little as $9 a month. People like me who charge $299 a month. The price doesn't much matter. I kind of priced it for what I think this group is. And if I were coaching you, I'd say, hey, let's start you at $99. It's a low barrier. Anything sub $100, study after study has shown that people are more likely to pay sub $100. It's an easier close. They're going to stay longer than north of $100 a month. When can you charge north of $100 a month? When you are seen as an expert, authority, and even celebrity in the space. Once you have established authority, celebrity status in a space, in an industry, you can start charging, commanding more, because you have now developed legendary status. But until we develop legendary status, when we're just expert status, hey, I'm an expert at this topic, usually $99 a month or less is what you want to charge, and that keeps the flow of leads consistent. So 4 Zooms a month. What else? Well, you'll need an educational vault. The educational vault here does something really cool. When a new member signs up, so let's say that you have a coaching program and I join for $99 a month. All right, I'm waiting for, let's say every Wednesday is your Zoom calls. Is there anything I can build a foundation on? So if it's about, let's say, losing weight, if Jeremy is going to teach losing weight and getting fit, Do I have to wait like one Wednesday Zoom at a time? Or is there an educational vault that I can access where he's teaching how to break down my macros, figure out my macros, how to eat while I'm traveling, if I have to eat at fast food restaurants, what options I have, how to meal prep, and then a whole section in that educational vault where I can, work out at home, work out while I travel, work out with just dumbbells, work out with just kettlebells, work out with access to a full gym, for what workouts to do if I only need to work out 3 times a week, or if I can commit to 7 days a week, right? The point of this is you have to give them an educational vault, because if you teach every Wednesday and I signed up on a Thursday morning, I pretty much have 7 days of sitting around doing nothing, right? But if all of a sudden, as soon as I sign up and pay my $99, an email says, hey, by the way, here's our educational vault, where the 3 things that I teach are all inside of that vault. Please watch that, and you'll find a lot of your questions answered. And I bet before your first Zoom, you'll already have your marching orders to start seeing results. We want to give our customers and clients, no matter what level they sign up on, results in advance. Results in advance of us coaching them. Look what I told you when we were in the studio. I was like, guys, I'm going to give you a whole day's worth of content on personal branding where people paid $5,000 a head. And I taught that because the personal branding section that I'm going to teach today, it's going to be maybe for an hour, hour and a half long. Because I spent a whole day teaching that 6 months ago. We'd need a 2-day mastermind for me to go in depth on personal branding. Or I could just give you something, it results in advance, and you're like, oh shit, I paid for one thing, he's giving me something else on top of that. It already makes you feel like I got more than I bargained for. Because think about this, if you're having people sign up for $99 a month, day one they signed up because they read the website, they saw your sales video, they're like, yeah, I'm in, it's Thursday. Friday, they're telling their spouse about it and they're telling their friends about it. Saturday, Sunday, they're like, haven't gotten any results or anything yet, can't wait for that first Zoom call. By Monday, they're like, I could have spent that $99 better somewhere else, let alone on a monthly basis. Hey, you know what? Can you guys just please cancel my shit and give me a refund? Don't forget there's attrition. So the refund rates are going to be high if you are not giving them an educational vault. The other thing you're giving them is a community. Now, this community can be a Facebook group or it could be a Mighty Network group, but this is the structure for the virtual community that's going to make $1 million a year, 842 clients at $99 a month. You're going to give them a educational vault that's going to be housed in like a ClickFunnels membership site or a Kajabi membership site, right? As soon as they sign up from your sales page, boom, it fires off the password login info to the educational vault. That educational vault is something that you update as you go. You're like, oh man, there's a new system, a new strategy, a new thing that I can teach. You continually update the educational vault, but you have to launch the business with the vault in existence. You have to have a community where all of these 842 clients can hang out and connect and share and network and feel like a community. Why? Because we want to make the business sticky. Sticky. If the business is sticky, we're going to have retention. Because like, why would I leave? I have friends in this community. We see each other on the Zoom every week. We interact in the Facebook group or the Mighty Network group. Like, this is a community that I'm part of. Now, there's a fourth thing that I'm going to put here, but I'm going to use an asterisk. The reason I'm using an asterisk is you don't want to launch with live events. Live meetups. I write asterisks because a live meetup gets expensive. And if you've only got, like, let's say you're starting this thing and you've only got 10 members in it paying you $99 a month, to do a live meetup is going to cost you a lot of money and you're actually going to be upside down that month, right? Financially. But let's say you get to a point where you've got now 250 members paying $99 a month. Shit. All right. Now I can go to the website, the sales site, and say, you know what? And once a year, we do a live meetup with all active members where we come together at a resort or something for one day and we share and we connect in person. You bring in a couple of speakers on the topic. And now, again, what do? We created the product more sticky. Because if I want to come to the live meetup and if it's 6 months away, I have to be an active member so that I can make it to the meetup. For Legacy Tribe, we have 2 meetups a year. But it pays for it and then some because the $299 price point and the large amount of membership that we have in it, right? So this is what the virtual program looks like. coaching program looks like. So we know what structure A looks like to get to our $1 million. Now, structure B. So this one is the virtual/private hybrid. This is the one I like the most. All you need is 167 clients at $500 a month, and you got yourself $1 million a year. Like, look at the difference now. 167 clients, you're like, well, fuck, I can probably go into my community and knock on enough doors. If I knocked on enough doors in one weekend, 1,000 doors in a weekend with the right pitch, think about like the people who install roofs, solar, landscape, door-to-door salespeople. I don't even need social media. I can just go into an affluent community, knock on 1,000 doors over a weekend, and probably get 167 people to commit to $500 a month for a result or value that I'm going to give them. Now, you can't yourself work with 167 people at $500 a month. That's just too many people for you as a one-person show. So at this point, you're going to need coaches. And so if you need coaches, here's what the structure looks like on this. If you're wondering how we do this, this was Tony Steffen's model. If you know who Rachel Shear is, this is Rachel Shear's model. Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, this is her model. I had her do this as well. All those coaching clients of mine that I listed off, this is a model that we run. And then if you want to go to 2 million, you just keep doubling, right? 3 million, you just keep doubling. You either double this number or you double this number. The number of clients you can double or the number of dollars you can double, but that's how you scale the money. In this scenario, you're going to need 4 coaches, each with 40 clients, 30-70 revenue split, 2 30-minute calls a month, and weekly by you. Let's do the math. So each coach is making $6,000 a month or $72,000 a year. Would you agree that's a pretty good salary to work from home? Remember, if they're doing 2 30-minute coaching calls and they have 40 clients assigned to them, I broke it down here. If they do the coaching calls, that's 20 a week. And if they do it 4 days a week, that's 2.5 hours of coaching calls a week. Or sorry, a day, 4 times a week. The rest of the time, they're working on their client's structure and program and nutrition or diet or profile or whatever it is. But the split is 70-30. So 4 coaches can handle, 4 full-time coaches can handle 40 clients. They're going to do 2 30-minute one-on-one coaching calls a month with them. So 1 every other week. They're going to build the programs. They're going to build everything. They're there holding them accountable. They're going to be there if the client has a question via email or text. You are going to do weekly Zooms. The reason you're going to do weekly Zooms is because, remember, they signed up to work with you. You're saying, I've trained my coaches to be as good as me or better. If you want to work with me, it's going to cost you $1,000 a month. So you're better off working with my coaches. You see the pitch here? You don't want to have clients. You want to delegate clients out. Your job is to be the visionary. You get the media, the attention, you do the sales, and then you hand off the clients. But then how did I end up working with you? Remember I said the structure here is 90 minutes. So here, same 90-minute Zoom that you're doing. You're teaching for 30, 35, 40 minutes, and then you open it up for Q&As. So now these people who have private coaching are also part of a virtual experience with you in a group environment. You can't scale yourself, so you can't do the one-on-ones. That's how you end up limiting yourself. What you can do is scale yourself through other coaches and by doing group things. Now, in this scenario, you don't need a vault. Why? Because everything is custom made. The coach is like, Bedros, you're 6 foot tall, you're 220 pounds. This is your goal. You want to get better at, fitness and you want to be more explosive for jujitsu. Here's your program, right? And then the next guy, he's 170 pounds. He wants to get to 200 pounds. He just wants to be a power lifter. It's a very different nutrition and training program. So you see where we are. Why are we giving the coaches 30% and keeping 70? When I see people do, well, I do 50-50 because then I get to keep the other 50%. You're not keeping a true 50 if you do 50-50 because you have marketing expenses. Later on, if you decide to get salespeople, you're going to have to give out commission, right? So you have to understand, you give your coach 30, if all works out well, you'll probably end up keeping the other 30%. The rest of it is operational costs, right? Like there's platforms, like, maybe if you're doing fitness and nutrition, you're going to have Avatar Nutrition, you're going to have Trainerize, maybe you have a Mighty Network group, there's some fee you're going to pay to Zoom. Like the fees add up. Maybe you're starting to do paid lead generation. Like if you're paying for leads, it's eating away at your money. So 70-30 is the split. That gives them $72,000 a year. That's a damn good income to work from home. They can still have a side job on top of that. All right, so this next one is a mastermind. This one we need 70 people at $1,200 a month. I had a mastermind for several years called the 7-Figure Formula Mastermind. Either 187 or 207 members in it that paid $1,200 a month. I eventually bumped it up to $1,500 a month, and eventually bumped it up to $1,800 a month. It was making multiple 7 figures, as you could imagine. And then when I got to high-end coaching and as Fit Body Bootcamp was taking off, I was like, all right, I can't run the mastermind anymore. I'm better off scaling down, less coaching clients, but charging them a lot more because I don't not want to make money. So how do these masterminds work? This one is 3 in-person meetups a year. It is also a community. Again, remember the community could be Facebook group or Mighty Network group. This one is also 4 Zoom coaching sessions a month. Here's the cool thing now, 4 emergency one-on-one calls. There's your whole model. So 70 clients paying me $1,200 a month, 3 in-person meetups a year. This is a mastermind. Now imagine if you guys were paying me on a regular basis. Let's say you're paying $5,000 a month on a regular basis. We're gonna meet up 3 times a year. Each meetup will be for 2 days. And I'm gonna provide breakfast and lunch, but no dinner. They can do dinners on their own. Day 1, I'm bringing in experts to teach. Now look at the price point. Much higher price point than $500 or $99, right? So at this level, if you're running a mastermind, a group in-person coaching program, which also has the Zoom element as well, where they can ask questions. Remember, we're seeing each other every quarter, every 3 to 4 months. So every week, we need to have access to each other via Zoom. Day 1 of the 2 days, it's all teaching. Day 2 is hot seats. So day 1, you're gonna do a teaching in the morning, you open and close. You're the bookends. The expert, the visionary, opens and closes with a 60-minute talk. In the middle of the day, you bring in expert. What I like to do is have just 2 other speakers come in, guest speakers. And then what I do is I take 5 people that have been doing awesome in the mastermind group from the last quarter. And I go, hey, can you do a 15-minute talk? Can you do a 15-minute talk? Can you do a 15-minute talk? So the group itself, they come up and start teaching. So if I take 5 people and each of you do a 15-minute talk, there's another 90 minutes killed right there. The reason day 1 is teaching is because if they came in with questions, we want to leave the hot seat for day 2 because doggone it, you may have just answered some of their questions on the teaching day. Day 2, everybody comes in. Now your guest speakers are gone and it's straight up hot seats. So you're like, all right, guys, who's got a question about their specific business? All right, come on over, set up a chair here. There's a chair here. And you think you're the one that's coaching them? You are, but really the peers. So the person goes, well, you know, making all this money, but I'm traveling a lot speaking because, you know, I make my money speaking. And now my spouse is like getting on my case about it and I'm not home and she's worried about the kids and blah, blah, blah. And what if dad's not home? And so what would I do? I'm like, well, here's what I would do. Guys, what would you guys help your peer with? And literally the day is spent hot seating like this and working as a group to elevate each other up. And day 2 doesn't have to end at 5 o'clock. When the questions are done, the day's over. Go enjoy yourselves, right? But it's 3 in-person meetups, 2 days each. You're buying breakfast and lunch for everyone and get it catered. Don't be like, hey, we're meeting somewhere, right? Get it catered. This is something you would do at a hotel where they're staying at the hotel and then the hotel ballroom or conference rooms where you're running the shits, right? When we had 180, like 200 members, we would literally break it up. I had to come up with like, how do I run a 200-person mastermind? Day 1 was like in the ballroom because it's like pretty much a fucking seminar. Day 2, we would break up into 40 people rooms and I would have coaches. So I kind of took a little bit of this model and I had some of my best students start leading the hot seat groups. Coaching clients that had been with me for a couple years, I'm like, you don't have to pay anymore. I don't? No, but you are gonna run the day 2 hot seats in this group. You're gonna run it in this group, you're gonna run it in this group, and I'm gonna run it for the advanced group, right? So day 2, we had like 4, 5, 6 smaller rooms of 40, 50 people. But day 1, all 200 people together, and we're doing our shit. And then of course, Facebook or Mighty Network community, where they can connect and network. 4 Zoom, the 4 Zoom, this one here, you would run 3 of them. Ideally, you would bring in a guest once a month. Remember, again, this is high ticket. Soon as the quantity of price goes up, you got to be able to expose them to higher level people. So through the mastermind, through you, they have access to people they couldn't reach. Like, that's pretty cool. And so you're doing 3 Zooms a month. A guest is doing the 4th Zoom. And then, of course, they get 4 one-on-one emergency phone calls with you. Again, at that price point, that's a significant price point. They get 4 one-on-one coaching calls with you that are an emergency. You don't need to plan those. You have them. If you need it, we'll get the call in 72 hours. This 4th one is just straight up private coaching. So I'm going to write D, and we'll just make this little square for it. 40 people at $25,000 a year. What do they get? They get 2 half days, and they get monthly. So private coaching. Like, man, I just want to work with you one-on-one. I got this idea of a solar business, and I'm going to make it into a franchise just like you did with Fit Body Bootcamp. Sweet. Give me $100,000 for the year. You get 2 half days with me. The half days are 4 to 5 hours long. First half day is obviously month number 1. Second half day is around month number 6. The reason I say around month number 6, depending on how much action they took and where they are, if they were progressing forward faster, hey, maybe month number 4 or 5 we're having your second half day. If they were progressing slower, a life ambush happened. Maybe we're doing your half day at month number 6, 7, or 8. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter when your second half day is. What matters is you get 2 half days in person one-on-one with me upstairs in the conference room. I charge $100,000. I think a great place for you guys to start if you're doing one-on-one privates is somewhere between $15,000 and $25,000, right? So at $25,000, you need 40 people. If you're charging $15,000, you might need like 45 to 50 people. They also get monthly one-on-one 30-minute coaching calls. Now, here's another asterisk here for you on this private coaching one. Someone's paying me $100,000, they just get to come. So Snej, Bree, they're part of my private Domination Your Coaching program. They get to come to any event that I'm running for free, whether it's BK Live, whether it's this. If they want to come and use my fucking studio, they can do that. Like, it doesn't matter. Now, if you don't have a studio or whatever, but whatever you have, you got to give, right? Any courses that I have, sales courses, etc., it's all theirs. And that is also something where if you have access or connections to people, this is where you want to start making connections, right? Like opening doors. If, Snedge is like, hey, I think I'd like to be on Chris Cavallini's podcast or whatever. Hey, well, let me see if I can make a connection, make an introduction. At that price point, that's a premium service. Yeah, we do our monthly coaching calls, but there's times where several times a week, we've exchanged voice text messages. They're attached to my hip. I'm your CEO for an entire year. I'm thinking for you like it's my business for an entire year. I'm teaching you how I think. I'm teaching you how you come to a fork. We just did a coaching call, let's say today, 3 days later, oh my God, half of my team quit. I can't be like, well, wait until your coaching call next month. I got you. Like, we're voice shotting. And if we need to get on an extra call or 2 or 3, I'm good with it, right? So understand that here, like, this person's family. You're running this business like it's your own damn business, right? Like, that's a premium service. And so here with me, I don't have the mastermind anymore. I have this Legacy Tribe, and I have this. And with the business partner, I have this. That's a fitness program. So my private coaching clients can get access to Legacy Tribe, but I can't just give away something that I'm a business partner in with, because that's not fair to my business partner, right? So all my coaching clients get all my shit, Legacy Tribe included. But if this was all mine, and let's say I also had a mastermind, if I was running all 4 structures, my private coaching clients would have access to all of it. Doesn't mean they have to attend all of it, but hey, you pick and choose. Hope you got a lot of value from that structure there. And any one of those 4 structures you can run for your online coaching business, or you can run any variations of those coaching structures depending on how much volume of traffic you get, depending how big your audience is, and of course, where you fall on the scale of expert, authority, or celebrity, right? And if you want to be in rooms where we're teaching more stuff like this, then Bedros Keuilian Live is coming up in Scottsdale, Arizona, September 13th and 14th. There's a link in the description box, or you can go to bedroskeuilian.com/live and join us there. Peace. I'll see you next time.